This individual came to us in 2020, not meeting the qualifications requirements to partner with Fusion. James had a decision to make. He saw a lot of potential and decided to take a chance and signed him on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Evan Sophir.
All right, how we doing? Hi everybody, great to be here. I'm Evan Sophir. Before we begin, I just want to say, and I'll tie this into Fusion of course, I have a little girl, she's 15 months. I'm going to try hard not to bawl in front of all of you of crying, but this is my first time ever leaving her for more than a few hours. So that's how much Fusion means to me. And before I get into the slides, I now would like to say thank you to a few people in Fusion who have helped me both professionally and personally. So starting with James Becker, quick story. I asked James if he would hire me at Fusion because I was having a rough go in real estate. And he said no. He told me to stay the course, to stay consistent, and that he knew I was right on that corner. And obviously I thank him so much for that. Andrea Metza, I love Andrea Metza wherever she is. There you are, hi. Vicky Noard, who onboarded me. Madeline Black, sorry, for all of my frantic questions. She always handled with grace. Patrick Tierney, Ciara Tierney, Marjorie Briseno, and I really hope I'm not forgetting anybody, but I just wanted to say thank you to you guys. So I'm going to talk about my story, where I was at, because yes, he's very correct in the sense that I did not meet Fusion's requirements when I first did the Make a Deal meeting. And when I was 18, first semester in college, my dad sent me a book that changed my life. I, like maybe many in this room, was very obsessed with the $1 Million Listing TV shows, but I quickly realized that you can't sell a $20 million home in 40 minutes, obviously. But you know, being bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as an 18-year-old, I fell in love with it right away. And it really sparked my passion for real estate. I started calling brokerages in Southwest Florida, which is where I went to college, over at Florida Gulf Coast, and started offering to intern for free. I said, hi, this is Evan. I truly do not know anything about real estate, no family members directly in residential real estate, but I will do literally anything. So I started hosting open houses, ran social media pages, booked vacation rentals, and even changed light bulbs, fixed cable boxes for tenants. And I had so much fun doing it, not kidding. I loved every single second of working my way up to being a realtor. By the time I was 21, I was a full-time realtor, basically going to college on the side, and sold my very first condo, or sold my very first home, period, $1 million condo in Naples. That story of how I sold that very first condo is basically really what sets me apart from realtors, or from the majority of realtors, not talking about the realtors in this room, obviously. It's that I go over and beyond to deliver the best possible experience I possibly can. That $1 million condo, the buyer of it was actually a tenant, somebody that I booked a vacation rental for, just like the slide says. And they called me one day. I had no sales, obviously, at this time. I was 21. And they said, we would like to work with you because we called so many people, nobody answered the phone, and you went over and beyond for this 1 month rental for us in Naples that we want to hire you. And I said, oh my gosh, that's amazing, thank you, what's your price point? And they said about $1.5 million. And I said, sounds perfect. So that is that story. Earning my stripes. So after college, I moved back home to Southeast Florida in the Palm Beach County area. And it was time to make a name for myself. How do I get people to trust a 22-year-old now at this time who's obviously never bought a home themselves? And I realized quickly the only way, like I said, was to over-deliver. So any small opportunity I got, I jumped all the way through it and just grabbed it and never let go. To provide concierge level service the best way I possibly can, where people had no choice but to tell their friends and family, this kid may have sold 2 homes or 1 home or whatever it was, but he literally would move in and be your assistant if needed. He will do things that no other realtor was willing to do. And that was the way that slowly but surely my name started to carry some weight, and when I started getting referrals. So for my first client in Southeast Florida, I showed 23 homes in 2 days. True story. Another, I door knocked expired listings. I even picked up a client's car that was shipped from California to South Florida. The early grind taught me to work relentlessly 7 days a week, too many late nights to count. In 2019 and 2020, I sold about $5 million per year, not bad for a 22-year-old. But again, that was right on the cusp of Fusion's requirements at the time. But I wanted a lot more for myself and more for my future family. And I realized that if I had to grow, I had to think outside the box. I had to be different. How do I stand out from the pack, especially when every other realtor almost in the world, it felt like, has so much more experience than I have. And whenever the opportunity did come, I knew I would have to take it. So one day during a Zoom networking event, I met Diane Cunningham, Andrea Metz's twin sister. And she shared how a company called Fusion Growth Partners, if anyone's heard of them, and I obviously sent her a message, connected with her, and fast forward to our Make a Deal meeting, the decision was made. I was gonna go all in with Fusion Growth Partners. I was gonna spend more money on my marketing services than I ever spent on anything in my entire life. And again, as a young agent, I struggled to stand out, and I couldn't really pull on anything in any sort of a client meeting. So being surrounded by people, again, with much more experience was very challenging. There's thousands of realtors, especially in South Florida. So how can I stay top of mind with the people I did know, with the clients I did have, and with the people I would meet? How can I stay the very top of mind above any of the other realtors? So the only way to do it was not be super salesy, but be creative and offer value, and that's obviously what Fusion did. Like I wrote here, for the first time I wasn't investing in marketing. They showed me that I actually would be investing in myself, but I was doing it with people who believed in me. So thank you guys again for that. And the breakthrough. So I'm now proud for the past 5 years in a row to be ranked among the top 1% of realtors in the US. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I promise as I'm walking around in the back of my head, I'm thinking, trust me, if you told the 18-year-old who was changing light bulbs that I would be on stage speaking, he wouldn't have believed you. So since partnering with Fusion, I've averaged right around the $20 million mark per year in sales. Of course, quadrupling my yearly volume since when I joined 5 years ago, of course. The business I run, I am a solo agent, and I run my business in a way that's powerful, impactful, built on relationships, media, and most of all, like I said in the very beginning, exceptional client service. I'm proud to also recently be named one of the top 40 under 40 realtors in all of Palm Beach County in South Florida, which is awesome. And like he mentioned earlier, because of these accolades, I've had a bunch of new doors open up for me, which is really, really exciting. I love doing things that tie into real estate, but are a little bit outside of real estate too. So hosting this Emmy-nominated TV show called The American Dream TV, maybe some of you have heard of it, has been incredible. I interviewed a mayor. I just also interviewed and featured the head of security in a local airport, and so much more. I partnered with Speak Up for Kids to promote the foster care system in South Florida, and it's been an amazing opportunity to meet new people. And again, I wouldn't have been able to do all of that if my business didn't grow to a certain point, which I owe so much of to Fusion. This is me today, of course. That's my wife, Maria. I'm not gonna cry on stage, not gonna cry on stage. She's been with me since the very, very beginning. Something else I did at 18 years old was meet her and fall in love with her in college. And that's my daughter, Olivia. And this here on the right, is Scott Singer, the mayor of Boca. So I just wanted to show a few of the things of where I'm at today. I'm getting to my last slide, but if I were to say anything to anybody who's a little bit on the fence with Fusion, with real estate, with anything in their life that they just feel like they're capable of more, my advice is whoever the most important person is to you, whether it's your husband or your wife or your friend or daughter or son, to make the story so amazing that you can tell that person about it one day. And that's what I'll tell my daughter one day when I wanted to quit real estate. And I talked to you guys about where I was, where I'm at now, so it's now time for me to talk about where I'm going. So this is what's next for me. Please, everyone, no pictures. My current brokerage does not know this. No joke. Actually, no pictures. But I wanted to share this with my Fusion friends and family. So I'm going to be going to Sirhan. It's a great place that I'll be amplifying, that will help amplify a lot of the things I'm doing. And I'm really looking forward to the future. Thank you guys so much for having me. And I wish everyone the absolute best. Thank you.